Welcome to the Attention Now podcast, where we dive deep with leaders, warriors, and game changers who live with purpose and make an impact. Today's guest is Dan Thompson. Dan, it's great to have you on the show today, brother. Thank you for being on.
Thank you for having me, Dave. Honored to be here.
Awesome, awesome. And I was mentioning to you right before we got started, I was impressed the minute I met you at the VFW. And another great thing is Dan was the first guy to recognize me outside of the podcast, which is pretty cool. So thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Let's start with an intro. Dan Thompson, U.S. Navy veteran, entrepreneur, and founder of Huff-n-Puff Fitness Repair, one of the Midwest's most trusted equipment service companies. Dan served in the Navy as a machinist mate, where he learned discipline, mechanics, leadership under pressure. He took these skills and built Huff-n-Puff from a one-man operation into a multi-state service company, supporting gyms, businesses, homeowners who rely on equipment to perform. This conversation dives deep into veteran entrepreneurship, scaling a service business, leadership systems, and what really takes to grow a company the right way without sacrificing, if I could speak today, quality or integrity. And Dan, I think a service business is outstanding because you could actually help a lot of people, and I think it's you're able to control a lot of it. So we're going to be excited about talking about that. So, but let's start off. Let's start off at the beginning, if you don't mind. Can you tell the audience where you grew up and tell us about your family as well?
Sure. Yeah. Grew up in the Chicagoland area. So really mostly Chicago and Oak Park. Spent
Okay.
some time in St. Charles as well. That was where I graduated high school and was recruited out of.
Oh, nice. Okay. Beautiful St. Charles. So, but started in the western suburbs and you went further west. Did you like
Correct.
Oak Park or St. Charles better?
They both have positive attributes. So I do still visit both
All
pretty
right.
regularly. So they're good places.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So you got recruited out of St. Charles. Tell us about that. Why did you decide to join the Navy?
Didn't have any plans after high school and
Okay.
knew I needed to do something. So, just kind of was a leaf out there in the wind, was definitely not the best student and just had to do something. So, a buddy of mine was joining the Navy. You know how that goes. The recruiters latch onto that right away. And
Yeah.
so then, yeah, they hooked me and there I went.
One second. So did you check out other branches at all, or how did you wind up picking the Navy out of everything?
This is embarrassing. They had really cool pens and I
That's
wanted one.
okay, man. Hey, whatever guides you is the main thing, right? So that's pretty cool.
Right.
So did they come out to your high school, or what happened?
Yeah, they were out there at the high school. They were there somewhat regularly,
Okay, gotcha.
at their tables, and so was introduced to them by my buddy. I think we were going to lunch or something because that's generally where they would set up.
Okay, gotcha,
And
gotcha. Recruiters are doing their job. That's awesome.
yeah, they were doing their job, definitely.
So then you went to Great Lakes and served for a while.
Yes.
What was the most valuable lesson you learned while you were serving in the Navy?
To keep going, no matter
Okay,
what. Just keep pushing through, get it done, get it handled, and keep moving forward.
awesome. I love that. Yeah, persistence and discipline is a big key, right?
Definitely,
What
yes.
was the hardest challenge while you were in?
Um, Being away from home,
Yeah.
being just out there. But then at the same time, in a lot of ways, there were a lot of benefits to that as well. You get real close with your unit, in boot camp and school, and then out in the fleet, and so it's double edged.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's a great thing that you said. We could always look at it both ways, right? The positive or negative, right? So,
Yes,
and did you go on a lot of different floats?
I was on a replenishment ship, the USS
Okay.
Camden AOE
Okay.
2, and so we would bounce back and forth between port and the fleet. So
Nice.
we were home ported up in Bremerton, Washington, but most of what we did was pulling in and out of San Diego,
Okay,
uh,
got it.
which sounds great, but didn't get much liberty as we were, resupplying. So it great place to be, but just turn and burn.
So, but you didn't have to be out in the ocean for like 6 months then.
Correct. Yeah, it was
Okay,
not for a long time.
that's a
So
big plus, man. Because
yes.
I had the honor of going on a ship, Navy ship, for about 10 days from Okinawa to Korea, and it's like, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, how do these Navy guys do this? It's like this is crazy, man. So that's awesome. I'm glad you.
Novelty wears off quickly. Yes.
Yes, exactly. It's like wow. Can you share an experience that sticks out from you or for you, excuse me, while you were serving?
Just coming up against challenges and having to overcome them.
Okay.
Just goes back to the persistence is encountering something that might be new, unusual, not quite sure how to handle it, and just um, just jump in, start figuring it out, and keep on rolling. You'll get through it. You'll make it. Having that confidence in yourself is invaluable.
I love that. Yeah, it's great for your mindset, right? Making
Yes.
sure. Speaking of mindset, I know you're in the fitness industry. Do you still work
Yes.
out to make sure that you're staying top performer and have that right mindset as well?
Not as much as I should. As
Okay.
any, you know, there's a million excuses, right? Business owner, lots of stuff going on,
Right, right.
chasing the kid around at home, this, that, and the other thing, just life. But I've not yet been able to make it. I've got some other stuff I'm getting sorted out first, but looking forward to joining F3. I
Oh,
was
nice.
told about it through another business connection, Tony, and he swears by it. He absolutely loves it. And so I looked into it. It's early morning workout, and
Okay.
so that's
Is that like
that's the plan.
like a CrossFit basically?
It's just a yeah, no equipment. You just meet
Yeah.
somewhere in public,
Okay.
generally a park, early morning, and then I'm sure it's push-ups, sit-ups, 8 counts, all the fun stuff that we used to do.
Nice, nice. I love it. Yeah. For me, I have to do at least something, even if it's a couple times or 2 or 3 times a week, or else I could feel I start dragging down, which is pretty interesting.
Definitely. Yeah, I was
Uh,
working out real heavily for about a year,
okay.
and was feeling great, lost the weight that I wanted to lose and everything. Then ended up with herniated discs, and the VA is the VA, and so it took quite a long time for that to finally be resolved, but I'm
Okay.
finally now getting there. Still a little scared about getting back into it though. Don't want to go through that again because that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that
So
was
the VA was
debilitating.
able to help you out with the injury?
Eventually, yes.
Somewhat, somewhat.
I
Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really had to go off on him,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Well, you have to, I think that brings up a great point, Dan, for everyone. Not only the VA, but any doctor.
yes,
You have to be an advocate for yourself because if not, they're just going to give you the pill or give you whatever. It's like, all right, you'll be fine. Check
right,
back with us in a month or not. So,
yeah,
but you know your body best. So
right,
that's great that you stuck up for yourself, right?
yeah, yeah.
So,
I really had. I'm kind of surprised I didn't get red flagged. I sent him a message, and I know. And the way that I framed it is that I wasn't dying, but I certainly wasn't living. I was practically bedridden for a couple months due to the
oh my
pain that I
gosh.
was in. And, so I had one of those bed desks, and I'm typing away at my laptop, and it was really difficult. And so, and I kept saying, yes, I'm not dying, but I'm certainly not living. I need this to be addressed. And it was just delay
Wow.
after delay after delay. Finally, I messaged in and said, I'm fortunate that I've got a lot to live for, but if this is the level of care that our veterans are receiving, it is no wonder that 22 of us are killing ourselves each and every single day.
Right, exactly.
And, and then I brought that up, and then all of a sudden they started doing stuff, and
Oh my
the
gosh.
ball got
Okay.
rolling, and so it was awful that it had to come to that point. But as you said, you must be an advocate for yourself and keep pushing, keep fighting, because this is part of the deal. We
Right.
earned that benefit, and yeah, gotta take care of yourself.
Wow. Yeah, I love that because so many people, might get discouraged or if somebody says no a couple times, you can't
Right.
let that happen, right? Just
Yeah.
like we learn to persist and keep moving forward, like you said. We're always in battle, whether we're in the service or not. Life is a battle, we got stuff like you said, family, we got businesses that we got to run, advocate for our own health and think about it. If you're not if you're not 100% or able to work or do anything, you're letting your family down. So you got to make sure you're there for them as well. So
Right.
that's a great point. Speaking of struggles, did you have anything with, did you do any type of therapy for PTS or, because a lot of people had PTS
Right.
in the service? And did you do any therapy or what
Mhm.
did VA do for you on that?
I did some EMDR,
Okay.
and CBD helps. And just I think for me the most valuable resource that I have is the network of veterans that we have.
Yes.
We are so blessed to have such an awesome veteran network here in the Chicagoland area, and we're all super supportive of each other and having that brotherhood and sisterhood that we had in the military. That's what everybody says they miss, from the
Right.
military,
Exactly. Right.
camaraderie, right?
Right.
And to be able to still have that and have that support system has been huge. And so many people, especially as a business owner, you got to tiptoe around everything, be real careful what you say because you don't want to offend somebody, this, that, and the other. Around us vets, though, it's just like it used to be. We can say whatever, do whatever, and we may not agree with each other, but we're not judging each other, most of the time. Obviously there's
Right.
exceptions
Exactly.
to everything,
Well,
but
if we're judging each other, we're just messing with you, right? So
well, right, yeah. And
most
then
of the time, yeah. Yeah.
given I love just talking crap to all my buddies and everything.
Right.
It's it's my best asset. And
Awesome.
so it's so much fun,
I love it.
and,
That's
and
awesome.
helping each other out as well, being involved with each other's families, and um and seeing everybody's successes, and also help them out with their failures is really, it's, man, what, tough to find the words for it.
No,
uh
no, I totally agree. I
right.
mean, being around people that think like you, right,
Mhm.
is a huge advantage, right? And there's probably, there's people around us that are a little bit older than us, right? So we could learn from them, right?
Definitely.
So learn from them and not have to make the same mistakes that they made, right? So
Mhm.
it's always good to learn from someone older instead of making your own mistakes. So I wish I would have known that like 20 years ago, but
Right,
I'm
yeah,
I'm I'm,
it's
I'm finally there, thank God. So that's pretty
right,
cool.
getting there.
So, speaking of God, has faith been helping you in your business at all, or are you close to your journey with God? Can you
Yeah,
talk to us a little bit about that?
just started going to church about a year ago,
Okay.
and have had numerous Christian friends in the meantime, that have always been respectfully pushing me in that
Okay.
direction.
All right.
And so very, very thankful to them. And I go to Harvest in Oswego,
Okay.
and phenomenal church. If anybody wants to go, send me a message, be happy to meet up with you there.
Awesome.
Also a phenomenal men's group there, as
Okay.
well as an excellent veterans group. Also, they really do a
Oh,
lot with the
really? I didn't know
veterans
that.
ministry.
Okay.
Yes. So they've got monthly meetups, and then they meet up. I believe it's every other Sunday. They've got morning muster before church starts. They've got some dinners, outings, and there's a very, very strong veteran community over there as well.
That's awesome. That's great that you're fitting that in because, like
Yes.
you said, people can make it as an excuse, but uh, everyone that I've had on the show, not, I would say 95% of the people that were not, that have been on the show are believers now, right? Which is
Mhm.
pretty interesting. A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of special forces guys,
Yeah.
just veterans, and it seems like there's a theme here, right? It's like
Right.
the theme that I've mentioned in the past, it's like we signed up to serve, we served, but our service is not over. We got service to do for God as well, right? Because that's
Right.
what we're really here for, right? So
Definitely.
awesome. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. So you went from Navy machinist to build a multi-state fitness service company. How did you start your business, right? And how many people when you first started?
Um, yeah, it started that 18 years ago, so
Wow.
it's been a while.
Okay.
And I'm the classic accidental entrepreneur.
Okay.
So after getting out of the Navy, as a machinist mate, I was down in the engine room,
Right.
and made the ship go.
Okay.
And there's not much work for that shore side,
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
definitely didn't want to still be out there. So really did struggle to find employment.
Okay.
And
So you
this
did
was
try.
Oh yes, yeah,
Okay. All
and
right.
just nothing was fitting in.
Got it.
So this was 2004. And at the time, I'm dating myself here. Newspapers, the Chicago Tribune, absolutely huge, and literally entire pages of truck drivers wanted ads.
Wow.
And
Holy
I
cow.
was I was fortunate. My dad was employed by Elgin Community College, so I was able to go there at a very reduced rate. And
Nice.
so didn't need to utilize as much of my Montgomery GI Bill for it, but
Okay.
then just figured, well, I got to do something. I like driving, so I'll start driving a truck. So
Nice.
did that and absolutely loved it. You're out there on the road. You can be alone with your thoughts, and you're just self dependent. It's you're not just not having to deal with a lot, and so it gives you a lot of time to be out there and think. And so did that at two different places. First place I was delivering food. Second place I was pulling tankers. And I saw a lot of my coworkers' kids getting in trouble. A
Okay.
lot of
Got
my
it.
coworkers were older than I was, and they had kids that were teens, and they were getting in trouble. And I very firmly believed it was because dad wasn't home, because
Right.
dad was out
Exactly.
on
Yeah.
the road.
Dad was on the road. Yeah.
And my parents were divorced, so I knew what that was like growing up.
Okay.
And so, as much as I loved driving, I knew it didn't fit in with what I wanted for the rest of my life.
Got it.
So, was looking at the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union because as a machinist mate, that's what I was doing.
Right.
And
Exactly. Yep.
so then in the meantime, a buddy of mine that I used to drive with, he had left and he started fixing fitness equipment. And I thought it was the dumbest thing ever.
Like,
Like,
what are you doing, dude? What the
right.
hell? What the heck's
We're,
wrong with you?
we're making good money driving and you're going to go
Right.
fix treadmills for a living. That is that even a thing?
Right. Right. Exactly. Yep.
And the company that he subcontracted to needed a second technician here in Chicago.
Okay.
He was up in Milwaukee. So he knew I was looking to get out of the truck, so he asked if I would be interested. I said, sure. Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union, they'll always be there. I'll give this a try. If it doesn't
Nice.
work out, I can always go do that. And that company required us to be subcontractors. They did not want to pay for our health insurance and everything else that's involved with being an employee.
Of course. Right.
And right, yeah. Why would you want to do that?
Right.
So they required us to be subcontractors and were very adamant you must have your own client base. So,
Okay. Yeah.
all right, cool. Because they needed to make sure that everything was good with the IRS and we were truly subcontractors. So at the time it was just me and my little Hyundai Elantra
Nice.
and a tool bag and just running around all over diagnosing and repairing these machines. And then a couple years later, they ended up pulling out of the Illinois market.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that was a very scary point in time for me because at that point it's sink or swim because sure, I owned a business, but I was essentially just given a contract worth $80,000, at the time. This is back in 2007. Just here you go. And so but at that point, I did already have a decent client base built up. So then just had to go all in and figure it out, make it happen. And here we are today. So,
Wow. That's an incredible story. You had the opportunity, they pulled out, and that gave you more of an opportunity. So
right.
just
Yeah,
like we said earlier, you can make it positive or negative, right? You made it
definitely.
positive,
Right.
which is incredible.
Yes.
So, perfect. Thank you for that. So a lot of businesses wind up staying small. You could have just stayed one
Mhm.
person, right?
Yeah.
Uh, what kind of decision allow you to make Huff and Puff grow without losing quality? A lot of systems in place. It's like, hey, do I hire somebody else? Can you walk us through what your thought process on that was?
I made it up as I went along.
Okay.
Still to this day, I really have no idea what I'm doing. I've got a vocational certificate in truck driving. That's the
Okay.
highest
Well, you're
education.
building a successful business, brother, so you're doing something right, but keep going.
Right. So yeah, hiring your first employee it's nerve-wracking because it takes a while for you to feel like you're actually legitimate, you're actually the real deal.
Right.
And so you kind of feel like an imposter for a lot of it, where it's okay, yeah, I'm doing something and I'm figuring it out as I go along, but the what worked best for me was hiring somebody in the office
There you go.
first and foremost. They can take the phone calls, they can handle all the admin work because uh, this isn't like being a plumber, being an electrician or something like that. There's not a school to learn how to fix fitness equipment.
Got
So
it.
it's not like you could just go out and find somebody to be working out there in the field. All the training that we have to do ourselves.
Yeah, I've never seen an ad for a fitness repair guy before.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah,
never seen that on the curriculum at
right,
the local
exactly.
community
Yeah,
college. So, so yeah, got somebody in the office to start building that up, and then that's great because it allowed me to focus more on doing the field work
got it.
because when you're splitting your time and literally doing everything, so you're taking the phone call when it comes in, scheduling the appointment, routing everything to make sure that it's going to fit. Then you've got to take care of, creating the invoice, getting that all set to go, then getting out there, diagnosing the machine, coming back to the office, looking up the parts that it needs, getting the pricing on that, getting all that figured out, then going back to the customer with a repair quote. And then if they say yes, okay, now got to get the parts ordered. And so there was a full day of field work. Oh, bless you. Full
I
day of
muted
field
it. God.
work. Oh, there you go. So there's a full day of field work, but then there's a ton of admin work at the end of the day as well.
Okay.
It needs to be done. Literally hours. So being able to split that up then was huge because then I was able to be out in the field and then things were still happening back in the office when I wasn't there. So I was able to, start growing more, then bring on another technician to then be able to get them trained up, squared away, out doing stuff. And technology had a lot to do with it as well. When I started, smartphones weren't really a thing yet.
Right.
So I remember when I would route stuff out, I would go to Yahoo Maps. It was that long ago, and
Yeah.
print out my route for the day, and had a standalone GPS, in my car.
Nice.
And so it was being able to be on the front end of that, and then I realized after smartphones, were accessible, that instead of waiting until the end of the day to turn in all the paperwork to my admin in the office, I could fill out a form that I made online, hit submit, and then that goes into the office, and then they can get rolling with things right away. So that was huge to really speed up our service process and what we were doing, to the point that we started being accused of overcharging because our job was too easy, because we would get back to customers too quickly with the repair quotes.
Oh my
We had to
gosh.
engineer a delay into quoting people out because we were too efficient and we're doing too good of a job. So,
I hate when you're too efficient.
right, yeah, yeah, it's, come on. Just like we said, you can look at things positively or negatively. They
That's
chose to
true.
look at it negatively.
Oh my goodness.
So, and then just building from there, creating systems and processes, and getting all that formalized is huge, so that then you've got something to go back and reference. If you're just having to rethink time and time and time again every time you run into a situation, your brain's going to explode.
Right. That's true.
95% of what we do on a daily basis, if not more, it's situations we've come up across before. We know how to handle these. Have a set process, cool, it's good, off you go. And making decisions on the fly, sometimes necessary, but that leaves a lot of room for error.
That's true. That's a good point.
And and that's a killer to small business. Margins can be razor thin, and a small mistake can end up really costing you.
That's true. Did you have to develop your own system processes, or did you
Yes.
find something so you had to develop all your own? That's pretty
Right.
cool. I
Yeah.
love that. That's good.
That was
Uh,
before ChatGPT as well.
yeah, I remember using MapQuest and all that stuff before, man.
Mhm.
That was crazy, right? Or
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you, so I remember just using maps in
Yeah.
general, right? So,
Yeah. 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 I did when I was driving big, road
oh,
atlas.
that's right. You went on we were on the road. You probably just used maps
Yeah.
then too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice. I love it. Uh, so you work with gym owners,
Mhm.
fitness brands, and homes, right? that correct?
Correct. Right. So yeah,
Right.
pretty much anywhere you can find fitness equipment. So police departments, fire departments, military bases, office buildings, homeowners associations, apartment complexes, and then yes, gyms as well. And then we do work for manufacturers also, and then of course residential customers also.
Wow, you never think about how big that market really is, you know.
Right. Yeah.
It's actually a pretty big market.
Almost every hotel has a gym. There's equipment in there and people are using it.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Do you have a
and
lot of competition in the area?
definitely more than we used to. Back when I first started out, another technology thing is that we were one of the first companies to have a good looking website,
Oh, okay,
and
got
that
it.
was really huge. And I always thought that the reason was because if you don't know something, what do? You Google it, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So being able to have that web presence early on in 2007, 2008, that really did a lot to establish us and give us a foothold here in the Chicago area where we
Nice.
started.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. Uh, what mistakes do you see entrepreneurs make when they're trying to grow too fast?
Not being strict enough with when it comes to hiring.
Okay.
I know I've made this mistake numerous times because as a business owner, one of the best things that we do is create jobs, create stability for people to be able to provide for themselves, their families, or just being able to provide.
Right, exactly.
And, it's emotionally, you want to be able to give everybody a chance. It's not financially possible to do so.
Right.
And, you've got to make sure that the person you're bringing on is going to fit with your company. And, obviously nothing's bulletproof, nothing's 100%, but you really need to do everything. If you've got an inkling that somebody is not going to work out, really think long and hard as to whether or not it's going to be worth it to bring that person on, because and it's a disservice to them as well if you bring somebody in who you don't believe is going to end up being a good fit
Right.
long term, because then they've obviously made an investment in you and your company as well, and so it's just
It's
best to fail fast.
painful on both sides, right? For sure.
Correct.
And you've actually hired some veterans as well, right?
Oh yeah, 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 we've got let's see, right now we've got Trey, he's an Army vet, and then Dennis is an Army vet as well.
Okay.
And so yeah, we've got skill bridgers here also.
Okay.
And so yeah, we're obviously very veteran friendly.
That's awesome. So with the hiring process, what do you look at to make sure that you don't fall into that pit of hiring the wrong person?
Somebody that's willing to just have confidence and bet on themselves, and
Okay.
but at the same time not be overconfident. We're not looking for bravado. We're looking for somebody who's poised, controlled, and has they're really confident, is really what it is, and confident in themselves and in their abilities and in their ability to learn. Obviously, if you're not trainable, then
Yeah, it's going to be a
what good are
problem.
you?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
right.
You can't be too confident, right? It's like, I could
Correct.
do it.
Yeah.
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 Oh, or I know better than you do.
Right. If you did it this way,
Okay.
Dan.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm always open to ideas.
Right.
But then because it's our systems and processes that allow us to provide consistent service across the board. It's same as McDonald's, right? Where no matter where you are in the world, the
Right.
quarter pounder that you get is going to be identical. And that's why people go to McDonald's. It is not the best burger. No one thinks that.
Right.
And but you know exactly what you're going to get, and that's why people go there. And so that is that kind of factory mindset. All of our technicians and all of our office staff, they're allowed to do things the way they want to, provided it's within
Those
everything
standards.
set right and what
Right.
needs to happen. They've got a lot of autonomy, but all these criteria do need to be met. That's a requirement that we can't waver on.
Yeah, I think those standards are extremely important, right? Because a lot of people have that comfort level. It's like, hey, we know Huff and Puff is going to do it this certain way, right?
Right,
And they're going to deliver and they're going to make it happen, right? Versus
right,
somebody else might bring a new process in that we're not comfortable with. So let's just stick with Huff and Puff and keep working with them because
exactly.
we know how they work, which I love that.
Right.
Uh, so Do you, why do you think veterans often succeed in entrepreneurship?
Because overcoming obstacles is what we're trained to do.
Right, exactly.
And, being able to dig deep, have that mental fortitude to keep pushing and keep thriving.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I noticed that when I got out of the Marine Corps. It's like, why are people not thinking for themselves on the
Right.
next right thing to do? It's like they were like stuck in different segments and couldn't get out of that box. So I
Right.
definitely agree with that. What advice would you give a veteran or just someone in general who has no skills and no clear business plan right now? What would you recommend for them to do?
Keep yourself open to opportunities that come your way. As I said, I nobody grows up dreaming of fixing fitness equipment. I had no idea I was going to get into this. And
Right.
it's opportunities are going to come your way. Position yourself as you best can to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, so that, fortunately, when I got out of truck driving, I had some money saved up, so I knew that I would, be able to have a little bit of a cushion there
Okay.
to be able to take that kind of a risk without risking my livelihood. So really positioning yourself is the best thing. Get involved in local veterans groups. I really can't say enough about that. It's only been maybe the last 2 or 3 years, maybe it's been 3 years now, that
Okay.
I've been involved with Veteran Business Connection and everything else that you and I are both involved in. And it has really, really been awesome to be able to be a part of it, and to be able to, I get so much out of it. And now I'm privileged to be at a point where I'm able to start giving back as well. And that's been really, really awesome to be able to do.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you actually took that opportunity that came to you. Could you imagine if you didn't take it, you could be working at the pipe fitters
Right.
union right now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
right, which I don't think you'd be as happy as you are now, right? So,
Pros and cons.
always look at the bright side, right?
Right.
So how many states do you operate in, Dan?
So we handle Chicagoland, which
Oh,
also includes part of Indiana. So, Illinois, Indiana,
okay,
Milwaukee, and Madison markets. So we're up in Wisconsin,
okay.
and then also the St. Louis market as well. So down in
Oh,
Southern
wow.
Illinois and
Okay.
Missouri.
So you have engineers out in all those locations then?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
And
that's pretty
and I've
good.
always said we'll go and fix any machine, anytime, anywhere. There will be a price associated with it, but we'll do it.
If we
So
got to travel, it pay us for the
right.
travel, not a problem.
We have done it before. Yeah, we've gotten on airplanes,
Oh,
and
no way.
especially with some of the government contracting that we do. Yes, we'll
How far
be.
did you have to go?
Had to send a tech of mine who was in North Carolina at the time to, was it? It was Washington or Idaho.
Okay.
Remember, it was out there though.
Interesting. All
So,
right. Good
which as
deal.
a business owner, great. As a taxpayer, why are we flying somebody across the country to fix
Right.
fitness
Exactly.
equipment?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
As a
It's
business
like
owner,
there
it's
has to
great.
be somebody there locally, right?
Right.
Hey, maybe
Yeah.
they like their standard and process, right? So
I don't know.
so maybe they want to pay the wrong person two or three times. So
Yeah.
uh what do people that own fitness equipment and companies underestimate when it comes to equipment maintenance and long-term costs? Because you mentioned the government had a contract with you. Can you talk a little bit about
Yes.
that, please?
Um, in the industry right now, especially with treadmills, there's a lot of things that are being advertised as maintenance free because
Okay.
it sounds great on the sales floor, right?
I want to
Nobody,
buy it.
right?
I'm
Yeah,
done. Right.
yeah. Shut up and take my money. I'm
Yeah,
sold.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, it's we have found that it is just not the case. It's
Okay.
things just need maintenance. These are machines; they're being used, and they require a lot. With treadmills, especially, they have to work very, very hard. You think about it, they are moving a user who is, probably somewhere between 1 and 300 pounds,
Right.
and that drive motor does a lot of work. A treadmill works so much harder and consumes so much more power than your fridge, your deep freezer, your TV, any appliance that you have in your home.
Oh, I didn't
Just
know that.
it just
Okay.
kind of sits there and hums along, right? In bikes and ellipticals, they pretty much do that as well, where they just do their thing. They do not require as much maintenance as treadmills do. But a treadmill really is a workhorse. And the better you take care of it, the longer it will last and the more you'll get out of that investment. Um, Along with that, avoid cheap equipment. Yeah, sure, you can go get a treadmill for $500 on Amazon, but does the manufacturer actually support it?
Right.
Or is it going to break? And then you're going to call us, and then we're going to tell you, well, we can come take a look at it. But if it needs any components, any of the electronic components, there's a good chance we're not going to be able to obtain them because the manufacturer doesn't supply them. They
Okay.
put this stuff out there, slap their name on it, throw it on Amazon, sell it for $500, and that's it. That's their business model. It's disposable.
Wow. It's just kind of replacing them. You'd have to replace the whole thing basically.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you get a better, high quality piece of equipment and you take care of it, it's going to serve you for a very, very long time.
For treadmills, how often do you guys recommend preventive maintenance for them?
For a homeowner, annually is generally good. If they're a very heavy user, if they're marathon training or something like that, then twice a year would probably be a good idea.
Okay.
With commercial facilities, twice a year at an absolute minimum. There are some places that we are in monthly
Oh, wow.
because there's just that much
So
going
much
on.
traffic going on it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's just what it takes to keep up with it. But
And with
yeah,
the preventive maintenance, that pretty much prevent it from breaking down? It helps out quite a bit, right?
oh yeah, definitely, because we're able to identify issues before they become huge problems.
Okay.
So, we're able to go in, get everything aligned, check on everything, get everything tensioned, lubricate everything that needs to be lubricated, and do everything we can to spot failures before they become catastrophic failures. I was talking earlier about the amount of power flowing through a treadmill, and that is due to belt and deck friction. And so it's counterintuitive, but the faster that a treadmill is running, the more efficient it is. And the reason is
Interesting.
because at that point, the user is up in
Is
the
the
air for
pop
most of the time.
got
Whereas if
it?
you're just walking on it, well, now that motor is having to move the user 100% of the time.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's actually having to work. And so that increased friction, then you get a lot of power flow going through things. You're going to end up blowing your motor control board out. So originally, all you needed was maybe just lubrication or maybe a walking belt. But now, because you've let that go on for so long, now you need a walking belt, you need a deck because you've worn through that top layer and you blew your motor control board out. So you need a motor control board as well. And now all of a sudden, preventive maintenance service call, instead of that, now we're dishing out $1,000 for all those parts that are needed.
Yeah, that makes sense. I never thought about having to replace the deck, but that makes sense. That wears
Yeah.
out as well, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
uh, where do you see the fitness industry going the next 5 or 10 years? Do you see any big changes coming up?
Ooh, never really thought about it. More connectivity with equipment that's
Okay,
really been exploding ever since Fitbit, came out, and
right.
that's really been huge, huge.
A lot of the
Um,
analytics on there, right?
yes,
Yeah,
right,
okay.
yeah, and so you're really just a lot more. I also would see a lot more AI integration as well,
Yes,
where
that's what I was thinking too. Yep.
personal training is now able to be done, and then you're able to get feedback on where you're at and what you need to be doing to better hit your targets. So
Nice, nice. I think we need to get a drill instructor AI for those fitness equipments. That'd be
there you
great.
go. Yeah.
And I've seen these. Now that I'm on TikTok, I see a lot of the shorts when I'm placing shorts on there. There's a lot of those $100 treadmills. What do you think of those? Those real
Oh
inexpensive ones.
no.
I,
No way. It's just not
how
possible.
long is that going to last you? 6 months, you
Right.
think?
Yeah. It's your belt's going to be made out of toilet paper,
Okay.
and no.
Okay, gotcha. Unless you just want to keep replacing it every 6 months. So,
Right. Yeah.
all right. I knew that answer, but I just wanted to get a
Just
professional's opinion. So thank
right.
you for
Yeah.
that.
There you go. No charge for that one.
If your business had to boil down to a philosophy or one principle, what would it be?
Taking care of people, both
Okay, yep,
in
love it,
and outside of our company.
love it.
We are customer advocates. It's our job to to know what the best course of action for a customer is
Okay.
and to explain that to them and educate them as to why that is the best option.
Got it.
Um, there are numerous times that that we tell people that what we recommend is if it's going to cost more than half as much to repair the machine than it would to replace it, then it's not worth it to get it done.
Oh,
And what
there
we
you go.
always say is, this is how we make our living. We would love to do this for you, but we don't want to lead you down the wrong path.
Right,
And
exactly.
customers appreciate that. It's we could say, oh yeah, this is a great idea. Spend all this money, and we could go fleece them, and then, but then they're not going to be happy.
Right.
Um, so number one, we're doing something unethical. Number two, now we've got somebody that's justifiably upset. Then they start trashing us online, and it just snowballs from there.
Right,
And that's
exactly.
that's no way to run a business.
Right.
One of the best phrases I heard, I can't remember which company it was that had coined this, but it's long-term greedy. You can be short-term greedy, just going after, yeah, I just want to make this quick sale. One thing we're focused on is long-term greedy. And greedy obviously has a negative connotation.
Right,
We
right.
say
I get it.
tongue in cheek, but it's if we do the best thing for the customer, then they're going to keep coming back and we're
Right,
going to continue
exactly.
to earn their business. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's like a long-term relationship is what you guys are doing,
Exactly.
right?
Right.
Making sure you're taken
That's
care of and making
right.
sure that you're providing service. Like if that was your treadmill or other piece of equipment, how would I handle it, basically,
Right.
which is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
We're doing everything we can to keep Americans healthy.
Love
And
it.
this is how we're able to do that.
Nice, nice. Can you tell us something that I have not asked about your business that I'm missing?
Ooh. Um, we started selling treadmills too.
I was going to ask you that. I was going to ask you that
So
right when you said about replacing it. I go, "Are you
yeah,
guys selling?" I was going to say it, but go ahead. Yeah. So now
uh,
you
we
sell them. Okay.
we just started doing that. We were very fortunate. We have a very high quality manufacturer, True Fitness, down in St. Louis, that
Okay.
came to us and said they wanted us to start selling their equipment.
Oh, nice.
And they're a phenomenal company, and we've done service work for them for years. We've always
Okay.
had a really good relationship.
So they knew
And
they knew you guys pretty well. Okay.
correct. And there's a lot of companies out there that don't treat service providers the best, and they're very difficult to work with. And
I would
you
never
know,
believe that. But go
yeah,
ahead.
but True has always treated us very, very well. And
Nice.
they've got some veterans over there also,
Oh, nice.
and
Okay.
which is always fun to talk to them. And so yeah, we're really proud to be able to start representing them and to be able to sell
Awesome.
their product. And then we've got extended service plan options as well, that we can do. And we truly do believe in them. We are not selling snake oil. That's, just going back to long-term greedy, that I
Right,
was talking
exactly.
about before. It is the most economical way to ensure that your investment is going to be protected for a long period of time so that you are able to get the most value out of your machine possible.
And do they provide for commercial and residential?
Yes, they do.
So both. Okay.
Full lines
Perfect.
for both. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. Cardio and strength equipment.
Nice. And how do people order from you guys online as well?
Yeah. Yeah. You can actually not yet. We're working on getting that built out. But for now,
Okay.
give us a call if you're looking for anything. We'll be happy to get you squared away.
Awesome, awesome. Since I asked, I do have the website in the back. Can you tell us your website? I have it on
Sure.
here.
It's hnpfit.com. Hotel November Papa, Foxtrot, India Tango.
Huffandpuffit.com. I love it. Awesome. Perfect. And people schedule service there as well, or do they call you also?
So best and fastest way to do it, fill out our web request form to
Okay.
request service. And then one of our office reps will get back to you and explain our services, explain what's involved in it, and then get you set up with a time.
Awesome. And what's the turnaround time usually for them to get back to you?
For us to get back is usually 2 business hours at the absolute most.
Okay, good.
Generally, it's a lot faster than that. Our target is under 10 minutes.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right. For some reason, I'm getting a little bit of internet delay. Sorry about that. Uh, last couple podcasts, something's going on. I think I got somebody trying to mess with me. But anyway, uh, what keeps you motivated every day, Dan, and keep moving forward?
Helping people and being
Love
able
it.
to provide for my family.
Yes, love it. Yep,
And
that's it.
being able to do both of those things, I'm very fortunate to be able to do both at once.
I love it. Yeah, that's kind of in all of our hearts, I think, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Well, not everyone's, but a lot of people that we know, right? So,
Yeah,
which is pretty neat.
yeah.
What's one part of your story the world hasn't heard but needs to? Anything that you could think of?
Just I guess it was one thing, just keep going and don't give up.
Yeah.
Just going back to the 22 a day, that really, that's always at the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
Um, had one guy back when I was in the Navy. Unfortunately, he was successful. Um,
Okay.
and so we lost him. And it's, he and I were not close.
Okay.
Didn't really like each other all that much, but just oil and water,
But you
just
knew
couldn't
him,
get along.
right? Right.
But the older I get and the more I reflect and think back, it's, just a 19-year-old kid. He made some mistakes. And it became too much for him.
Okay.
And it really breaks my heart that's how that turned out. And
Right.
I can't imagine how his parents felt that, you're so proud, you send, your son off, and he's doing great things. He's successful and taking the next step in his life. And then, all of a sudden you get a call, and, your son's gone. And
Wow.
there were a couple other guys that they attempted, fortunately were not successful.
Okay.
And had another buddy of mine. He's down in Texas, and he was up here. At this point, it might have been a couple years ago, and so he, we're Facebook friends, still. And so he was like, "Hey, you still in Chicago?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm going to be up there for some training." I'm like, "Awesome! Name the
Nice.
time and place.
Okay.
I will be there." And he told me that there was a tough time that he was going through back, when we were stationed together. And he said that he was planning on doing something along those lines, and said that, there was me and a couple other guys, that had talked to him one night, and he changed his mind. And
Nice.
so, it's, life can suck, life can get tough. But, especially reach out to fellow veterans, get
Right.
involved with fellow veterans. And we're, I feel that it's our obligation to support each other. You know,
100%.
civilians, we get, some support from civilians. We get
Right.
we get negative support from other civilians.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Um, and but we don't understand, or nobody understands us like we do ourselves.
Right.
And it's yeah, just keep going, reach out to somebody and get involved, because that network will save your life.
Yeah, and something you mentioned earlier with the doctor, same situation with this. We have to be an advocate for ourselves, right? So, like Dan said, connect with other veterans. There's a lot of veteran groups, a lot of help out there to help you. Everyone thinks, oh man, my life is screwed up. I'm the only one going through this. No,
Right, yeah.
everyone else is going through the same thing, brother.
No
Everybody
one is
else, right?
special.
Right, exactly. So,
Everybody's been
yeah.
through it, or not
What
everybody's been through it,
whether you
but
grew up with a broken family, we had problems afterwards, had problem in the military, guess what? Life is problems, right? And
yeah.
and that's what we're here to do is to focus on the bright side, like we were saying earlier, and connect with the right people, and that makes a huge difference. So I
No,
think
you're
that's
not alone.
right. You're not alone. Exactly. Exactly. So what kind of path would you take, and if you're 20 years old now, Dan, knowing what you know?
Ooh. um
Same or no?
I would have paid more attention in school. uh
Yeah.
yeah, it's I have made a lot of mistakes, and I've done, so many things that I would do so much differently now had I had the opportunity to do them again.
Okay.
Both personally and professionally. um but just learn from them and focus on being better every day, and keep moving forward.
Right, right. And then the other thing I wanted to mention too is that you mentioned getting around the right people. Get around
Mhm.
successful people as well,
Yes. Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because you learn so much from successful people. One of the groups that Dan and I, there's a lot of business owners there, right? And we get together at either VFW or at Rosie's.
Mhm.
And Rosie's is owned by Lynn Lauder, which is a recon Marine, and lots of years of experience in businesses and helping other people with business as well.
Yeah.
So just be around the people that have gone through stuff, and you're gonna find out you're not different. You're not. We're all the same, which is pretty crazy, right?
We
We may
really
look
are.
different, Dan,
Right.
Dan and I are twins. Nobody ever told us that, but just so you know.
Right.
But we're all, I mean, we're not different. None of us are really different. So,
Mhm.
what's the best advice a mentor ever gave you about life, leadership, or business? Speaking of hanging around the right people.
How you present yourself really matters
Yes.
in business, and you need to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward. That has always been true. It is even more true now because, as we know, things on the internet do not go away.
Right. That's true.
And so, you anytime you're putting something out there, especially regarding your business, just make sure it looks good. If it looks sloppy, no one's going to have any faith in it. Make sure things are spelled correctly, and that the information is correct. And you know, one of my goals is I always want things to be as bulletproof as possible. It's easy to get caught in then never being able to actually put it out and release it because you're constantly tweaking it. But
Right. Exactly. Right.
it's all right. Yep, this is all good. This is all accurate. Cool. Send it out. And could it be better? Yes, maybe. But at the very least, it's true and accurate.
Right, exactly. I mean, with simple stuff like spelling, just run it through Word, and now we have AI. You could run your stuff through as well, right? And,
Right.
and it'll fix it up
Yes.
right for you. So there's
Yeah.
take advantage of that technology, which is pretty cool. So
Yes. And
speaking of social media, do you guys have accounts on social media as well? I know we mentioned your website.
yeah, we don't really do much with them though. I know
Okay, no worries.
if Stacy sees this, she's gonna yell at me again. She's
Is
always after
Stacy
me
the
about
one
it.
doing it?
No, she's not the one. She's always after me about getting it going. She's very
Okay,
prominent on social media,
got it.
and it serves her very very well. And so
Okay,
she's constantly after me about it. But
gotcha,
I'll
gotcha. Okay, no problem. Well, just go to the website then for now. That'd be great.
yes.
And almost wrapped up here, brother. Uh, tell us about one message you'd like besides, and we just talked a little bit about the suicide, excuse me. What's
Mhm.
one message you want our listeners to remember today, or about you
Yeah, just
or about you or your business?
it I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but yeah, it all goes back to the 22. It's
Yeah,
know you're not alone, and reach out and just take that step
right, exactly.
and get involved, whether it's with a veteran group, with a church group. Like I said, I'm very fortunate to have a great veteran network at our church as well. And yeah, just don't make that final decision. It's it's not going to solve anything.
Right,
All you're doing is
exactly.
transferring your pain to others, and it's
Right.
probably multiplying in the process.
Yeah, and there's so many veterans out there willing to help, right? And
Yes.
which is amazing, right? Because
Right.
they've gone through that process, they've had those issues,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're in a better place. I see people constantly on social media talking about that. I'm on social media, so if you guys need help, reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be willing to talk to you guys, whatever it
Yeah.
takes.
Same with me as well.
Awesome, awesome. Are you on social or no? You're personal
I'm. You can find me on LinkedIn. Yeah,
on
that's
LinkedIn?
probably
Okay, got it,
yeah
got it. Okay,
best place to find me.
I think that's where you first saw me, right? On LinkedIn.
Yes, it was probably something that Lynn shared.
Got it.
I would
Awesome, love
assume.
it. All right, awesome, Dan. All right, perfect. Dan, it's been great to have you on today.
Yeah, thank
Uh,
you.
thank you for your sacrifice, your leadership, and the example you keep setting for others still, and helping other veterans with jobs and resources and everything that you're doing. You continue to serve by helping others and other veterans. So thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you for having this show and allowing us to do this and being able to get our voices out there to be able to help others.
Absolutely. I love to share this encouragement to everyone. And, Dan's a great example of what he's doing, what he's been through, and how he's succeeding and achieving now, which is awesome. So great job, Dan. For our audience tuning in, share, follow, and subscribe. These stories need to be heard. These lessons can change lives. Stay focused, stay winning. God bless you, and thank you for listening and following.